Welcome home, Raiders. Tonight, Blizz cracks down on win trading, but misses the mark a little bit. And $1 billion. And so much more as Convert to Raid presents the Battlenet News. From the Battlenet News broadcast bunker in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Today is May 9th, 2017. The year is cooking along, and it is now 10:15 in the p.m. Central Time. Thanks so much for joining us from all around the Blizzard universe. And hello, my name is Pat Crane. I'm the host of this ding-dang show, and with us, the players are here. First up, from Line of Sight Gaming, it is Tattva. Hey, buddy.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. You
hi.
were doing a Blizzard 2015 slideshow before the show started.
Oh, man, memories.
It was
so
great.
Awesome.
Memories.
I think I was probably cross-eyed in every single one of those pictures, but whatever.
I think I might have been too. I might have been. Who knows? And also from Lords of the Storm, a podcast all about Heroes of the Storm, it's Gizmo!
Yes, I did not realize it until you were just saying it's already May 9th. We're over halfway from the previous BlizzCon to the next BlizzCon. Getting
Oh
close.
my gosh.
So far away, but so close.
Oh, you are blowing my mind right now.
You're welcome. That's what I try to do.
Thank you. Yeah, we're 6 months away. That's crazy.
6 months? 5 months.
Wow, 5 months. Yes, you're right. 5 months. Sorry. Get ready for BlizzCon, everybody. It's gonna get weird pretty quick. Nerd Sweat.
Universe of StarCraft. Coming this year.
Universe of StarCraft. Coming in 2019. No, not really. Listen to last week's show for everything about that. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, fellas. As always, to the big show where we will talk all about World of Warcrafts and the universe of StarCraft and so much more. But first, let's catch up with you guys and see what's going on. Gizmo, it's been a little bit since you've been on the shows. So what have you been up to? What's been going on in your world?
Oh, man. So I've still been playing a lot of Heroes 2.0, but I've done a thing since they had these mega bundles. First off,
the mega bundles.
Yeah, if you have an account, just go ahead and, especially being in a community like Convert to Raid where there's people from all over the world, make sure to log into the EU server as well. And you can even do the Asian servers. You can get the free bundle on those servers.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
So you can get it, which is nice in case you want to obviously deal with the ping, but play with some friends you don't typically get to play with. But I made a alt account, which can sometimes be frowned upon.
Okay.
Also known as a Smurf.
Yeah.
To kind of just do some experimentation. I want to get that account leveled up, hop into some ranked play to see if I land kind of in the same spot where my main account is, or if the fact that when I sucked at Heroes of the Storm for a really long time when I first started playing, if that kind of weighed me down a little bit. So been playing a lot on that, and I feel a little bad because I've probably upset a few people doing so, but you know what? You got to get better somehow, people. Come on. But I also I want to give a shout out to somebody. I haven't been playing as much Diablo, but Fyrus had sent me an email when he heard about my woes of horrible luck on my hardcore tune, and offered to group up with me. I haven't gotten a chance to group up with you yet, but I've talked to you a little bit, and I appreciate the offer. Really do.
Well, there you go. Tattva, how about you? How is Convert to Mythic? How are all the things? Because I know that you've been playing a lot of WoW, as always. Anything else? What's going on with you?
Yeah, we're just kind of plugging along. The longer that Nighthold has been out, start losing people. We're still in this like crazy mode where we're still having core raiders dropping like flies. So we're still kind of trying to fill out the roster a little bit. I mean, we get good apps and stuff, and so it kind of keeps up, but it's just weird, like looking at the team right now and comparing it to a month ago or even 2 months ago, just how many new faces. I mean, it's awesome meeting new players and getting to know them and stuff and killing some bosses.
It's tough. I mean,
yeah, but it's tough losing people.
Well, and right now it's kind of the transition between the different raids, right? And so everybody's kind of waiting for the next raid to pop, and everybody's been through Nighthold a bunch of times, and for mythic teams right now is kind of a tough time, as well as it is for normal teams, because I know that for Ermagerd Offensive, we are actually officially on break. So we are on break until the next raid hits, only because we've been through it a bunch of times. We know what's going on. We understand. We've killed Gul'dan a bunch of times, and he died, and the suffering, whatever. Whatever he says,
that cinematic's awesome.
Suffering, blah, blah, blah. So we're just like, okay, well, why don't we just take this time and concentrate on like Mythic Plus dungeons or something else, or we'll group up with somebody doing heroics or whatever, because I mean, it's a casual group. We're supposed to be casual.
You gotta mix it up.
Right. And so we'll take this time and we'll do something different and come back at the beginning of the next raid or just before it and group up and try to reconnect and get everything working again. So, it is kind of one of those things. But it's the same way with mythic teams too, I think. And it may be the same with heroic teams as well. I don't know, because I'm not in one right now.
Yeah, I think just relative to whatever type of content you are in when you're raiding, it doesn't matter if you're mythic or normal or LFR. When it gets to this point in a tier of raiding, it's a fight to keep going. It definitely is. And so, I mean, where are we at? Like, when did Nighthold even come out?
Nighthold came out in January, so it's been a while, right?
Yeah, I mean, 5 months, 4 months.
So, I mean, and this is what they expect, because, I mean, if you expect that a raid is going to last approximately 6 months, that last month is going to be kind of tough. That's just the way of it.
It's no Siege of Orgrimmar.
Yeah,
thank goodness.
Hold on a sec. For bringing that up, you get
Dork
this
of the week.
Yeah, you get Dork of the week. Hold on, that wasn't even loud enough. Hold on, I got to make it really loud.
Dork of the week.
There we go. Okay.
I think that's my first time getting Dork of the week. I am honored, sir.
You should get it more. Oh, you're such a dork. Okay.
I'm curious. How would I still recognize the Convert to Mythic team of the members on there? I don't even know how long it's been since I've been off that team.
No, probably from the time you stepped back, there's probably been, I would even go as far as to say 15 core players that are gone now.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Is Crab still there?
Crab's there.
Dumpster?
Yeah.
Nope.
Envin?
Yes.
Okay, of course.
Lovely Envin. He took the highlight of last BlizzCon for me. Just like one of those drunken nights, just jumps up out of his couch and stomps over and grabs the handle of, I can't even remember what kind of whiskey, and just pounded it. Like, I've never seen anyone drink that much in one go, ever. It was pretty impressive. Anyways, but yeah, Envin's still there. It's
BlizzCon. BlizzCon is coming.
Yeah, I mean,
right around the corner.
Ratings. Yeah, it's just an interesting thing, but I think at this point people are used to that ebb and flow, and are probably to the point of understanding that, let's push hard for a few months, and then, it's not a big deal to back off for a couple as we wait for the new raid. But
sure,
we're gonna keep pushing. We have some more bosses to kill. We got some pulls on Botanist and stuff, so hopefully he'll be dying fairly soon. But again, Mother's Day is this week, and it's always rough on 2 nights a week, and then we lose one of our nights to a holiday. So
Sure.
it's just kind of probably going to be farm this week. But we have some apps, and so they'll be able to get in and say hi and stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
and
and I still
go ahead.
have been pushing with that Pug weekend normal Nighthold thing.
Right.
Still have that going. It's kind of random, and I kind of upset some people, I think, with how random it is, but it's just kind of according to my schedule. I'll just be like, hey, here we go. Let's do it. And
it's
then,
okay, though, because if you're in the CTR Guild, one of the things that we did this week was we actually added a new head of activities over in the events department. We now Nevar is he is called the team event leader. So we have Turarts, awesome, doing the regular events, doing special events as well, like the big anniversary stuff and blah 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 blah. But Nevar was brought over specifically to do team events. So we should.
You didn't even tell me that.
We should be seeing regular team events over in the CTR Guild soon, if not immediately. So, by the way, welcome Nevar. It's good to have you on the team. So, you know, he's a bit. If you know the CTR stuff at all, he's always playing WoW. He's always playing WoW, and he's only on his Demon Hunter. And
you want to know something ridiculous?
Yeah, go ahead.
Are you ready for your mind to be blown?
Sure.
I already blew it. You can't blow it again.
Well,
guess what trait Never's on?
Is he on his last one?
No, he's past the last one.
Oh, he's past the last one. Okay, what is he on?
He's on trait 54.
I'm on trait
the next
like
trait
42 or something like that.
Yeah. The trait he's working on now, I think it's like 880 million AP to get it.
Oh,
Nuts.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. You know, I feel good about myself because this week, even at my casual pace, I managed to get flying in World of Warcraft. So how about this for me? Not really. We don't need to play that because I got flying so late. But I got it, and I'm like going, well, okay, I got flying, and the raid team is on break. So rip WoW. No, that's not really the case. I still plan on playing it quite a bit.
I was dead.
I was dead.
Here.
I've got flying.
Like it makes world questing a billion times better.
So much easier.
Idea. It's
so
crazy.
much easier. And I don't know if you saw it on an MMO Champion. They did a numbers crunch of who has flying and who doesn't, what achievements they've gotten over the last whatever over Legion. And it turns out that about 50% of people have flying in Legion right now. Somewhere around 50%. Now it might be a little bit more because I got mine today. But
50.00001%.
Right, exactly. So it's somewhere around 50%, which I think is not bad for an expansion. I never got it in Warlords because
neither did I.
I was just like, nah, I don't need it. Whatever. I don't want to do the treasure jumping puzzle stupid thing. I don't want to do that. So I didn't. And this time around, I'm just like, oh yeah, all right, I got it. Cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, it is good. And it is so much nicer with that. I don't know. Okay, a couple of things before we get into the news part of the show. Number one, let's talk a little bit about Gathering Storm. Gathering Storm, Shark is putting this stuff together. It's gatheringstormtournament.com, but it is a HOTS tournament for you and your friends to get together and represent a community and go toe-to-toe with folks from Frog Pants, A-Move, Geekly, and, of course, Convert to Raid and Lords of the Storm. We've combined forces, so
Yes.
which I'm happy about.
Our powers unite.
That's right. We will destroy everyone because we've combined our powers. So it should be a fun time. Are you planning a team, Gizmo?
I think I am. I'm trying to see if get some of the other Zords together. I'm sure out of the 20 active Zords, I can squeeze something. But it's going to be really fun, and especially now that a lot more of the Zords have gotten back into Heroes because of 2.0.
Right.
But if I have trouble finding a team, you know what I can do, Pat? I can join the Gathering Storm Discord, which is at the very bottom of that webpage, and get in there and see if, look for some recruitment, see if some other people are looking for a team.
Yes, you absolutely can. And who knows, I might even do the same. Although Shark asked me if I would want to cast it. And I said, if you want me to cast it, you have to have at least one person who knows what's going on.
the thing, they're grabbing the big guy and the ground is going up.
And I don't know what happened, but
things are happening.
Somebody kicked some butt. There were a bunch of deaths.
That's bars are going down. Look out.
Everybody grab a glass of something because this is going to get weird.
But yeah, that's 2 out of 3 of us that are, well, I'm about to make it 3 out of 3 of us that have been wishy-washy about joining this thing and making teams and stuff. Just as far as from an organizing standpoint, and this is to me too, I need to get off my lazy butt and just sign up. But I did line of sight game nights for a while there, a lot of fun, and hopefully we can start getting it going again soon. But just for organizing purposes, don't wait till the last minute to sign up.
Don't.
If you know you're gonna do it, sign up. Just do it.
Right.
And that's me too. I haven't signed up yet. There's a bunch of guys from CTM that want to play, and so we'll be making a team and stuff. But just help Shark out. It's nice having a good chunk of the teams already signed up well in advance, just so you can start the organization process and doing the whole rosters and all that kind of stuff. So sign up soon. Sign up now. Don't wait. Do it now.
I will say on the flip side of that, make sure that you sign up if you're going to play, but try and make sure that you'll actually play, because that can also make organization real tough when it comes time and trying to find people. But it is definitely a task. I mean, even our Lords of the Lane tournaments, which we just wrapped up one this last weekend on 2v2 teams, is nutso. So
but I mean, there's really no pressure here. I mean, we're playing for prizes. We're not playing for cash or anything like that. We're playing for prizes, just fun stuff, and it's a pretty casual tournament. But it'll be the first weekend of June, and so make sure to grab your friends and go sign up or join the Discord and look for others for creating your own team and all that kind of stuff, because this is just about getting in there, having fun, especially with 2.0. There's lots of loot to be had no matter what, because you can go in there and get all the different loot boxes and skins and heroes and sprays. What do they have now? They have sprays and
voice lines, announce packs, emojis.
Yeah,
but
emojis.
Pat, this tournament is not about fun. This is about crushing other communities and showing Frog Pants and Geekly and A-Move who is on top.
Let's put this into perspective. This is not about fun. This is about crushing.
Pat's being the good cop, and Giz and I are being the bad cops. He's like, "Yay, fun!" We're like, "No, now sign up."
This is about
it's required.
Everybody else. Can't you see that? So gather everybody together. And speaking of gathering everybody together, let me talk about this for just a second. And I'm going to talk about the new T-shirt campaign that we have going on right now. And it is the Kinsmen T-shirt campaign. If you go to teespring.com/Kinsmen, you'll be able to check it out. There's men's, women's, and long sleeve versions of this single color graphic that says Kinsmen, and it has the Kinsman holding his sword aloft, kind of rallying cry for everybody. And Gizmo, I heard that that you may know something a little bit about this. This is from the if you're part of the CTR Guild, this is part of the 2014 BlizzCon experience at the Hilton Hotel. And that was your first year going to BlizzCon, wasn't it?
It was. And this was back in, I mean, it was only 3 years ago, but this is back in.
Feels so much longer ago.
This is back in Gizmo's little party days a little bit here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll exclude names. Let's just say there was a lot of alcohol involved, like bottles of Red Label just brought into the Hilton lobby, which I'm pretty sure you're not supposed to do. Right. And passing around shots. And a member of our community got, really riled up and stood up on one of the tables and gave this fantastic speech that will forever, until the end of time, be known as the Kinsmen speech. Mm-hmm. And kind of rallied all of CTR together. It was Alliance versus Horde in the lobby of the Hilton between a bunch of drunk people. And it was incredible. I mean, the hype was real. And I am just so glad to have been a part of it. And also at the same time, so sorry for being a part of it.
So sorry that I had I had a part to play in it. And from everything that you said before the show, it sounds like you may have been an instigator in the whole thing. So may have,
perhaps,
allegedly.
But it was our good friend Sushi, and we actually have a little bit of audio. You asked Tattva last week. You asked if I had anything to back it up. This week I do. It's a little bit of audio from our friend Hawkeye, part of the guild, and others that joined in as well. And this is their audio description of what happened that they made pretty much directly after that. But here we go with the audio version from Hawkeye and a bunch of other CTR members. Here we go.
In a world torn asunder by demons, dragons, and the undead, there came the clarion call to unite under the flag of the Kinsmen. This is the story of one man's courage.
I came across the diary of the remarkable documentary artist, Amanda Panda. She wrote, "When the Kinsmen climbed upon the chair at the Hilton bar, I knew that history was unfolding. I immediately started recording. I had no idea what was going to happen, but as it turned out, it was the beginning of the Kinsmen movement."
It seems that many thought the Kinsmen had shouted, "Fuck the Horde! Fuck the Horde! Fuck the Horde!" But as an elite audio engineer, I was able to break down the available audio and determine that the actual utterance was, "Love the Horde! Love the Horde! Love the Horde!" It is this message of love that has unified all Kinsmen to this very day.
Here's what eyewitnesses have to say.
I shall never forget the day that man pulled me up on a table, said, "Berserker, I love your hair," and together we went full Kinsmen to rally the Alliance in the hall. Despite any rumors of true intention of that day, may the bonds of brotherhood we forged at the Hotel Hilton in the ancient city of Anaheim never be broken.
Anaheim.
So I had completely forgotten about that and about me doing that audio engineer piece.
So there.
I was like, who is that? Oh my gosh, that was me. Yep.
That was you. That was you. But thanks to Hawkeye for giving me that piece to play on the show this week. And if you want to be a part of history, feel free to go over to teespring.com/Kinsmen and pick up your shirt. It's fun. It's a fun thing.
It's awesome.
Yeah. That's all.
BlizzCon's so awesome. It's great. Everyone has to go. Please. If you haven't been, please go. It's worth it.
Yeah, and I picked up my shirt this week, and so, yeah, it'll be a good time. Good time. All right, on to the news. Here we are. Let's start out with World of Warcraft like we usually do. And I don't know if you guys saw this. There was a new Armory Design unveiled today, and people don't necessarily like it very much in the guild. That's all I know. Tattva, do you have any opinions on this new look? Because it seems a little different, right?
Well, I mean, the look's good. Like,
Okay.
I think the major complaints is the information that's included. Like, people wanted a bit more robust, which is kind of sad that they missed the boat there. Like, even if they had the two different like options, like simplified or advanced, like they used to or whatever, but yeah, they're just missing a few things here and there. Like, major complaints are relics still aren't showing up, secondary stats, tertiary stats. I don't know. It just seems like they're missing a lot of things. But yeah, even reading through the forums of their announcement of the new WoW Armory is just lists and lists and lists of what people think is wrong with it.
Yeah,
Like, oh man. But I mean, yeah, me personally, I don't really use the Armory a whole lot,
Yeah,
so
me either.
I don't know.
Right.
The tertiary stats not being there broke it for me. I mean, that was make or break it.
Right. Because everybody needs to know how much leech you got.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the thing. It looks fine. I mean, I think they're just trying to do something a little bit different, and yeah.
I think they made it more accessible to different like phone apps and stuff, so it looks better across all the different.
And that might have been the biggest driver of the whole thing, is just trying to make it mobile friendly and make it kind of look cool for that. So
update the icons a little bit here and there.
Yeah. So go check it out and see what you think, and then make sure to troll them in the forums like normal.
Yeah, like the one thing about the Armory that I always, because I swear, like ages ago, you were able to like choose your character's pose for it, weren't you? Like, I mean, I even tried like back in the day to like make my pose super awesome, but they should reinstate that. I want to make Tattva super sick.
They did a whole 3D thing where you could spin them around. I didn't really check it out this like today, because it just came out today, right? So I didn't necessarily check it fully out because, like we talked about, I don't really use it all that much. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know what they would do to make it like see more traffic. I mean, what could you include? Like, if there was like a sim type situation, but that's a lot of work, and I don't know if they want to take that on or whatever.
Right.
Or even if they like had the Sim C dudes.
Well, you know who actually is taking that on right now is Raidbots. Raidbots has been taking on Sim for a little bit now, and it seems to be kind of a go-to for folks nowadays. So I don't know. You don't even need the SimC site anymore. You can just go to Raidbots.
It seems like people are missing like the recent activity that used to be there, arena, like PvP stats, professions, things like that. So not anything that ruins it for me.
Sure.
Looks nice.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Like,
looks
I don't
nice.
know what would make it more useful or like just more traffic. Like there'd have to be something there that people need, to help out with traffic to it and stuff. I mean, like you might check out an app or something on the Armory just to see what their gear's like or something, but there's so many different options for that. And so it just seems like you'd need to come up with tools, or if they attach like a simple, because we were talking about this on a recent show, if not last week, just about how the HOTS updated their website with the whole, what did they call it? Just the whole beginner guide thing.
Yeah. With the core, whatever it was.
Core basics or something.
Yeah, core techniques or whatever. What is it, Gizmo?
But, I mean, if they did
core something.
Core concepts.
Core concepts.
Core concepts. That's what it was. But I mean, if
just
they
wanted
did
to let
something
you struggle
like
there for a minute.
whatever,
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Jerk.
So if you can't swim, do not hop into a pool near Gizmo. He will let you drown, apparently.
Yep.
Anyways, but I mean, maybe if they implemented something like that, where like maybe you roll an alt and you check out your WoW Armory for your alt, and then they have a nice little like drop down. Hey, these are the enchants you're looking for. This is the, if they had that kind of information, like class-based information right there for you, or maybe even per spec. Like if you're thinking about doing a different spec, like it could be a go-to place to get that information, even though Icy Veins exists and all the other stuff. Like there's so many different things that people just go to.
Sure.
So I don't I don't know what would make the armory
Well, and does
more
does
important.
World of Warcraft really need that traffic when there are other sites out there that kind of deal in the same information and whatever? I mean, I think it all kind of gets muddled at some point, and people just kind of pick their favorites and go. But I mean, it would be nice. I think the best thing to do would be to just say, you know what, this person is geared for X. They've cleared X. They're green for normal heroics and they're orange for mythic, meaning hey, they're probably good to go for mythic or whatever. They're pretty good to start that stuff. So I mean, something like that would be helpful for raid leaders for sure. Kind of trying to parse out who's doing who's good for what content, but other than that, I don't really know what it's used for.
Or maybe, I mean, going along that same vein, maybe there could be like, if you right-clicked on, say you're forming a pug for Nighthold or something like that, you could right-click on their name, and in-game, that was one of the options, like Whisper, whatever, invite, all the different options you have when you right-click on someone. Maybe there is a direct link to check out their armory. Like you can click in-game, it opens up a window, boom.
It would be better just to have all that stuff in-game, really. I mean, it would be awesome if they could, Here's another thing, Blizz, that you need, apparently. When you right-click on somebody's name, and then it just pops up with like a little bar that says, hey, they're green for this. Wouldn't that be great? It's like they're green for normal and for heroic. That'd be awesome. And then you can just say, all right, come on. Along with a little item number type of thing.
I don't know. I'm sure it's way more work than what they would want to put into this, but I would love to see them get more into the mobile. And perhaps now that this isn't just Armory, it is the player profile, add in some, possibly some guild functionality to having a calendar to where it would be easier, I guess, like you said, we have Discord and stuff now that you can do that. But it'd be nice to have a calendar where you can say, okay, we're going to plan this event, send out the invites, notifications pop up on the phone or whatnot that you can accept or deny. But yeah, that's kind of Discord. So
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just a weird thing. Scott in chat brings up a good point just about it. As long as the sites that we use for all the other stuff, WoW Progress, all that kind of stuff, as long as those sites can draw from the armory, it's serving a major purpose. So like it can be what it is, and they can make it look a little prettier, but yeah, I don't know if it's worth the time to do anything with other than that.
Right. Right. So in other news, because I think that's nice. It's not amazing or anything like that.
We beat that horse to death right there.
Tattva, you were talking before the show that there's a new legendary ring out there.
Yeah, so this is kind of crazy. Like,
so we're having another. Is that another people's ring? Is it another people's ring and then a people's cape? Is that what we're having? Is that it?
Something like that.
What's going on?
No, it's just another ring option that's coming in 7.2.5 when Tomb comes out. I mean, most people have so many options now. Like we're getting up to like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 legendaries on players in their inventories. But yeah, they're just adding another one. But the crazy thing about this one is it actually will give you a talent. So in one particular row, you will be able to have 2 of the 3, which is somewhat insane. Like
what?
There's like, it's going to be a crazy balance thing. And I don't know if it will end up 100% being best in slot for a lot of classes or not. I mean, it probably depends on the talent that it gives you.
It's just on the PvP escape talents. That's the only thing. And then
yeah, exactly.
Probably.
But I mean, that's just on the PTR, and so they're probably still going to be going through balance and stuff. But I mean, for Guardian Druid, it's the 75th line, and so it's Solo the Forest, which is kind of getting up there as far as like legit talents. I mean, everything offers differences to change your character and how they're played and stuff. But like, if there's a ring that gives like a level 100 talent, like I don't think they'd go there. Hopefully not, because that would be extremely strong. And basically,
if it was the last talents for everybody, that would be really big news. Actually.
Yeah, it would be craziness. But I mean, even being 75 for a Guardian Druid, that's Soul of the Forest is is definitely like the least of the three that are picked. But who's going to say no to like free 25% more mangle damage and rage generation? And like, I know it'll just be interesting to see how they balance it with the other legendaries and if these things do become the go-to for one of your slots. So it's kind of cool. It's brand new though. And so I think the Demon Hunter ring that's listed, it's showing Death Knight talents on it right now. So it's still super early. So I imagine all that will change quite a bit, but it'll be interesting to see what they do and how the balance goes with those, because has potential to be extremely strong.
It's kind of like a Hellfire ring from Diablo.
Sure.
Yeah.
Right. By the way, did you see that they're nerfing Guardian Druids for PvP coming up before the North American qualifiers for WoW?
Those
and
jerks.
so they're like really nerfing Guardian Druids, and a couple of other classes have some little minor things going on, but Guardian Druids, sorry, PvP is not going to be as awesome for you guys.
Yeah, they have potential to be extremely nasty and very, like, they can dish out a ton of damage and take a beating. So it's probably needed. It's probably desperately needed.
I really like going around wherever and just being a bear, because I feel totally indestructible, even though I did die today in my world quests. But I think that was on me. So there's that. All right, on to the next story. So Blizzard, last week, I think, they decided to do a round of bans. Like they do this on occasion. They'll do a round of bans, and the bans are because of various things where they see people that are win trading, or they're doing other cheating things, and they'll say, "Hey, cheater, why don't you just sit out a little bit?" Or, "Hey, cheater, stop it. We gotta ban you now because you won't stop, and we think that you're part of this botting program, and we can't have it." So they banned a bunch of people. They life banned a bunch of people. Mm-hmm. And then the people came back and said, "Oh, why did you life ban me? This shouldn't be a thing." They were a little off on a few folks out there, and hopefully none of you hearing this actually were affected. Were either of you guys affected? Probably not.
Mm-hmm.
No.
It's it's an interesting thing here. So they tried fixing it. They apologized. Apparently they got most of them reversed fairly quickly, and gave people a month of game time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure there were several people upset, whether they were pushing the ranks in PvP, or perhaps they raided as well, missed some raid nights because of it. But what would you guys rather have? And I don't know, as again, I'm not a PvP player, but is it better for them to be more aggressive like this? And they said that they discovered what the mistake was. This shouldn't happen again.
Awesome.
Who knows if that's true? But would you rather them be more aggressive on things like this to potentially, keep it from hurting people who are trying to do PvP the right way, or settle down a little bit? Like which is the better way to do it?
I don't think that. I mean, for me, what I've seen anyway is it seems like every 3 to 6 months that Blizzard comes out and says, "You know what, you're bad," and then they just slam the door on certain people, and it's done for a while, and then they come back 3 to 6 months later and they say, "Now you guys are done. Just stop cheating." Number one, everybody just stop cheating.
Well, I think the main thing is those gold websites where you're actually buying rating and stuff like that. Those websites that offer those services to rate you up and stuff. And so they're specifically targeting those people. I mean, that's the big one that they're going for. Of course, there's other people like involved or whatever. I mean, it was part of their little announcement too. They, said if you're gaming the system to try to get rating or try to get AP or anything like that, like that's a bannable offense. So, I mean, look out, because you're part of it. But the big dogs that they're going for are these gold websites and stuff where people are buying services, and it's just
those
it's not their character. And so
No.
And of course those services are always just going to regurgitate new accounts and all that kind of stuff and continue to offer, and so it's just something that they have to do. Although the whole banhammer thing, I think would be awesome and somewhat devastating if you were to receive one. But the banhammer, like in the email, there should be like a GIF of Reinhardt and then your player's name underneath, and he just like obliterates
Slams it,
just smashes it down. Your name shatters.
Or
See ya.
or
That'd be
Garrosh,
awesome. That'd be such a sick email.
That would be great. That would be pretty good. I like it. So I mean, hopefully it didn't. Hopefully there weren't too many people that were affected wrongly by it. However, they did say that even in their banning, they weren't necessarily wrong, because there was win trading going on for the folks that they banned. They just didn't want to life ban them if they weren't using one of those stupid services out there that will cheat for them. So they gave them appropriate timeouts.
Well, there were some people who were not involved at all, like people that didn't PvP in accounts that just got banned, and that's what they said. They discovered the issue in the system that banned them, and that shouldn't happen again.
Okay,
but that was the kind of bigger deal. It's like, I don't even PvP, and my account is closed or banned. So
always a touchy subject. So. Oh well. Anything else going on with WoW that you guys saw this week? I mean, it's been a pretty light week for WoW stuff. Not a lot. We're just kind of waiting for 7.2.5 to come around, and we're seeing some of the raid testing come out and stuff like that. So, it'll be a little bit until 7.2.5, won't it? I mean, it should be another, I don't know, while.
Yeah, I think they even said that it's going to be mid to late June. So we're about at least a month out. Right. But I mean, and then that being said again, is just like, as far as like the whole burnout of Nighthold and the lead up to Tomb and stuff, especially with the quest line leading up to Tomb that you found on the Broken Shore or whatever. Like a new one comes out every week.
Yep.
And like even me personally, it's just like, especially the last couple, they've kind of not had a lot of feeling into them, because it's just like, collect 100 of these from killing stuff beneath the Sentinex. Okay, now kill 100 demons in Fell Soulhold. Like, they're going to get back into the meaty story. Don't fall too far behind, because then it'll just be this mad rush at the end to be like, oh crap, I have 4 weeks of this quest to do now. So just keep up with it.
This week was particularly disappointing, only because it was, hey, just kill 100 demons and then you'll be fine. And it's like, okay, cool. Whatever. And then so I got flying, and then I was like, okay, well then I'll just fly over to Fell Soulhold and go kill demons, I guess. And I jumped in one of those guns and was shooting bats down for about 5 minutes, and then it was it. So, it's like, okay, cool. Did it. Awesome. 5 minutes.
Yeah, but the story's going to pick back up, so keep up. Been a slow couple weeks.
I just wish that they had done something more involved, something more story-driven type of thing.
I really enjoyed the lead up to Nighthold. Like every single week, they were pushing the story forward in like major ways, and it just seems like the last couple have been a little weak. The first few were great, like pushing the story forward.
Sure.
Illidan, everyone's going to town and stuff, but then just like, okay, lots of demons. We need to do some work, I guess.
Right. And so, hopefully it will pick back up. And I know that once we get, closer, like especially 2-3 weeks out, we should be seeing a lot more story-driven action, hopefully, from all this stuff. So I have hope. But for now, let's move on to Overwatch.
Now we're cooking with gas.
We really are, because Overwatch, according to the Blizzard earnings report, which actually came out last week, and was looking really, really good for Blizzard, which means that all the games are doing really, really well. But especially for Overwatch, it is a $1 billion franchise, another $1 billion franchise for Blizzard. So congratulations on that. Among the things that we found out was that not only has Overwatch earned $1 billion, but they also have 30 million players, which is really, really good. And last week we had the announcement about Hearthstone having 70 million players, and Overwatch is killing it, guys. There's not much else to say, really.
Yeah,
just overall,
less than a year.
Right. So even against some of their own properties, it seemed like they're killing it. Even over whatchamacallit. What were we talking about before the show? Trying to remember all this stuff that we were talking about before the show. I'm like, oh yeah, this is great. Even over the Call of Duty franchise, it seems like Overwatch, even though the numbers may not be as big, the growth on it is huge, and they look to overtake already. So that's pretty killer when you're talking about
insane.
it.
Part of the report too is just the straight up amount of time players are putting into the Blizzard IPs across the board.
Right.
They're breaking records, every single one, for the amount of time players are playing every single IP, basically. WoW, Overwatch, obviously, Hearthstone, everything. It's just people are putting time into these games, which is awesome to see. There's a lot of players, and they're all playing,
right?
And it's fantastic.
And don't forget that King is also in on this, so that does mean that Candy Crush and the like are in on this earnings report as well. So $1.7 billion for Q1, which is incredible, and it's mind blowing. Really, it's best first quarter ever, and so that just means awesome things for all the games that Activision Blizzard has, and man, I was blown away when I saw that number. I was like, this is incredible.
Yeah, and it shows as well that this isn't just from people purchasing Overwatch, because obviously it has 30 million players, but as much as people, I think there's a large voice of people that don't like the mini transactions and stuff that are in games, but it's obviously working. And the amount of content that they're releasing,
it's working on me. It's working on me. I know that those special events come out. You want those damn skins, and you're like, all right, come on. You can't win all the loot. Sometimes you have to just dig into your pockets and see what you can find.
Yep. And still not get it.
And get something else. Hopefully get gold enough to cover it, right?
Yeah.
So, but big congratulations to Blizzard in general and to Overwatch in particular, and to all the teams over there for just killing it. And I look forward to seeing what Q2 and beyond has to bring for you guys. Just a note on Overwatch as well. Jeff Kaplan let folks know that competitive season 4 ends in late May and season 5 begins at the start of June. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're rolling through so that you kind of know what's going on. And although this isn't necessarily Hearthstone,
well met.
I'm going to play that because it was actually Overwatch and Hearthstone. And it has to do with China. Gizmo,
China.
Gizmo, can you fill us in on what is going on with this story? Because it's weird.
So it is. But it's all because of a new Chinese law. It's forcing companies to reveal probabilities before, obviously their players are throwing money, and it's kind of considered gambling-ish. So pretty much they've just forced companies to release probabilities of drops. And so we got the numbers here. And as far as Overwatch, we have the loot box content. Of course, each loot box has 4 items. A rare quality, there's going to be at least 1 rare quality item in a loot box. Epics, on average, every 5.5 loot crates that you open, you will get epic. And then legendaries are every 13.5 on Overwatch.
So it was about like 7%, a little bit over 7% for legendaries. And I know that according to the article that I saw, or a couple of different articles that I saw, that people were, I mean, they said that they beat those odds during, ginormous pack opens or whatever. But, 7 whatever percent, it was also kind of data mined over thousands of players opening packs. They went, oh, yeah, that's about right. Something like that.
Yeah.
So,
and some people, of course, are going to have better luck. Some are going to have worse. I think Hearthstone's was a little more extreme. So it's 1 rare per pack, 1 epic every 5 packs, 1 legendary every 20 packs. But, the conspiracy theory coming out of this is, okay, well, is this lower in just China because they know from marketing that Chinese players are spending more on these crates? So is this actually carrying over to all regions, or is it kind of a money grab move? Most likely, probably not. I wouldn't imagine so, but it, I guess, is a possibility.
So the conspiracy theory is, they changed it for China because China
spends more money.
Yeah, they spend more money, so let's make them spend even more money.
Yeah.
So, but
tinfoil hats are a go.
Well, Tattva, you don't think that they're doing that, do you?
Oh no, like they made $1 billion.
Yeah,
come on.
Oh no,
it's all good.
No.
I mean, it just feels like they don't even seem that rare. Like, I mean, between HOTS, Overwatch, all these places where you can open these crates and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like some of them are crap and you get a bunch of normals or whatever, but I mean, it's never felt bad. I mean, for my personal gameplay, like as far as like when that nice orange glow shows up, like it doesn't seem that far in between and stuff. And so
that orange
but I might
glow.
just be a lucky individual.
You know what's Overwatch and Hearthstone need?
What's that?
Reroll, just like HOTS.
Reroll.
They do actually. I think that would be really good, and if they had some sort of mechanic to do that, that would be great, especially in Overwatch, because I find that I get so many duplicates and so many different things going on with that. I would rather re-roll and try to go for a skin that I don't have or whatever in that. So
I don't. It probably wouldn't work in Hearthstone as much because that's actually affecting gameplay. But in Overwatch, it's really weird because we've talked about this on Lords of the Storm. The progression system in Heroes actually feels much nicer, yet it's a free-to-play game where you're spending $60 for Overwatch and the loot system kind of feels wonky. So I think it would be awesome to just have per loot crate like 1 free reroll. Like, oh, you didn't like what you get or you got a lot of duplicates.
Yep.
You can either keep that gold or take your chances.
And we have it in the chat room too. Hey, how about in WoW? Yeah. Especially on those mythic caches. Let's do that. Because I know that there are a lot of people that are open those going, can't use burp, burp, burp. So a reroll there would be really nice, but what can you do? They do have those extra rolls. They have those bonus rolls, so that's kind of nice. So
I wonder if you could do something like with Overwatch where if you rerolled, you just lost one of the 4, and so your reroll you only get 3, and then 2, and then 1,
and you lose like gold or something like that. So
well, you don't have to lose anything. You just you lose. You straight up lose something. So I mean, even if those first 4, even if some of them are duplicates, you're going to be losing gold. You're going to be losing those items and stuff. But if you're shooting for like that one shot at a legendary, you go from being able to roll 4 options at loot to what 3, 2, 5, 6 more.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Interesting.
And a thought.
Tinfoil hats.
All right. Well, let's switch topics, switch games actually, and maybe we should actually talk about HOTS.
Let's jam.
Let's do it. So Gizmo, there's some new stuff happening on the PTR, right?
Yes, there is. D.Va entered the PTR yesterday on Monday. Woo-hoo. And holy cow, she is a super interesting hero.
Yes, we were wrong.
Yeah.
About what?
About her ult. Her ult isn't her ult. Her ult isn't her ult. What is that?
So, yeah, it's crazy. So, we assumed that obviously the self-destruct, which is her big ultimate in Overwatch, would be the ult here with potentially something else. It is not. Self-destruct is actually one of her basic abilities.
What?
Granted, yeah.
Wow.
Which is nuts. And it kind of works like Tracer's ultimate, which is weird, to where it charges based on how much you're auto-attacking and damage that's coming towards you. So it's really goofy. It works just like Overwatch, to where you can use your boosters, which is your Q, to boost and then activate your self-destruct, and it kind of throws at a distance, so it can be used as a ranged attack, which is going to be very high skill cap. That is not easy to do, but really it's going to be the only way to use self-destruct as a damage ability, because it takes so long to charge. It's a really good zoning tool as far as objectives. Defense Matrix, we were also really curious about how this was going to work in Heroes. So this channels a defensive field in the target direction for 3 seconds, reducing damage dealt by enemy heroes inside of it by 75%. So it's not just blocking projectiles, it's not protecting heroes that are in it, it's reducing the damage of the heroes that are in it. So you want to cast it. That took me a few games to figure it out. Like, why is this not doing anything?
That's cool.
And then the heroic abilities, which are goofy. Bunny hop. This you can use if you're in your mech.
I did that all the time as a kid. Do the bunny hop. Yep.
The mech comes unstoppable, and it stomps every half second for 4 seconds, slowing and dealing damage. Or you can choose Big Shot, which can only be used in pilot mode, which is D.Va out of her mech suit, which deals damage to all enemies in a line and reduces the call mech's cooldown by 8 seconds for each enemy hit. So she feels it's the most out of Overwatch heroes that have been transferred to Heroes. It's the most different than the base kit from Overwatch. So it feels a little different, but it's very interesting, and I think it's going to be a very high skill cap hero.
So it's going to be tougher to play, and do you think it will be more powerful than like your average hero in there? Because it's so high skill cap, or what?
Potentially. This is one of the hardest heroes to judge, I think, that came out. I have a feeling that she is going to end up being fairly powerful. Just because she is kind of harder to kill here. It works just like Overwatch. Her mech's destroyed, she pops out. Killing her mech counts as half a kill. Killing her counts as half of a kill. So that's kind of an interesting thing there. But it is, the being able to use self-destruct efficiently is in the rate at which you can charge that, because it does take quite a long time, is, I think, going to separate a lot of players there. So we'll see. I imagine we'll see her released, of course, this coming Tuesday into the game. That won't be in competitive play for 2-3 more weeks after, which will be a while because we have the playoffs and stuff coming up, which we'll get into later. But this patch also had a lot of changes, a rework for Alarak, Tyrande, Lily got a big nerf, Lucio got a nerf, but I think the biggest thing that come out of this is Tyrande is been changed drastically, and she is going to be quite a damage dealer now, potentially. So even less of a support than she was. I haven't had a chance to hop in and check her out yet, but people are really excited about her, which I'm excited about because I used to play Tyrande quite a bit. So it's always good to kind of keep an eye on those changes. But
I call her Tyrande.
Tyrande?
Yeah. Only because one of our friends, Randy, he was on, actually he wasn't even playing her. He was on a team playing her, and I was like going, oh, there's Tyrande. So I don't know. And I just kind of stuck with it. It's goofy.
On one of our first episodes of Lords of the Storm, Smashzord, who started out with us, made we were trying to figure out how to pronounce it correctly because I'm awful at pronouncing names. And he said it's like Hotel Tyrande. And he's like, they have a Don Cheadle Tyrande skin. It's like, oh Smash.
Man.
That's
pretty epic.
That's weird.
Hotel Tyrande.
That's just weird.
Anyways, so some other stuff to keep your eye out for. The Overwatch Cross event is going on. This is week 3 now. So get in, get your 5 games to get those crossover rewards.
Right.
And also, if you guys haven't checked out the Heroes Brawl of the Week this week, it's Checkpoint Hanamura. It's another one of those that's specific map for the Brawl. It's an actual payload, so push and defense, and really cool and exciting in there. And of course, you now get a loot crate for completing those 3 games.
I just think that everybody should check out all the brawls in all the games. That's my biggest thing. Like, even if you are such a casual player in whatever game, go check out the brawl. And if it's Hearthstone, if you don't have to build your own deck, just play, because it's stupid fun. And in WoW, like, they have all sorts of weird PvP brawls going on these days, and they are fast, fun, furious, all that kind of good stuff. And same thing in Overwatch, play arcade mode, something is bound to go off crazy. And Heroes of the Storm. I mean, check out all the brawl modes and you'll just have fun.
Did you guys see, or did you guys ever play the what's the Netherstorm one? The Gravity Lapse one?
Yeah, I played that. Yeah.
That one's so hilarious.
That was
like,
great.
That was awesome.
That was great. Like, every minute you pop up, like, you shoot up off of the ground, and you have to figure out where you're going next. And it's like,
with an extremely organized team, it's like terrifying, because you'll launch up into the air, and then you literally can basically go. You basically can go anywhere in the map. So, I mean, if you're over at Mage Tower, you get launched up and you're just like, hey, guys, we're going to Blood Elf Tower. And then all of a sudden there's 15 players there. It's just like, holy, what just happened?
And if you see and if you look at the map, as soon as everybody shoots up, everything just goes berserk. It's crazy.
It's hilarious.
It's awesome.
So much fun.
It's awesome. So, again, like all the brawls ever, yes, play them, because they're fun. They are just absolutely fun. Anything else for Heroes of the Storm?
Oh, just the Wombo. The D.Va Wombo. I wanted to mention that. That's going to be so sick. Whether it's Zarya ult or Grav Bomb from Gaz.
Mosh Pit.
Like, huge. Like, the big gun. Like, what is it called? The eject thing? Her E?
The what?
Her E. Self-destruct. That's it. Anyways, launch your self-destruct. You have your big gun ult, so you pop out. They're all piled up. Hit everyone with big gun. Self-destruct.
Yeah,
it's going to be mayhem.
It's going to be big.
People will melt.
People will melt. And that's a good thing to think about when you're signing up your team for the thing. For the
making people melt.
For the Gathering Storm. Over at GatheringStormTournament.com. Go over there and do it. All right,
sign up now.
Let's move on to Diablo.
Which doctor? This doctor.
Last week they had a Necromancer Q&A. So we're talking specifically about the Necromancer because it's on the PTR right now, or beta. Is it beta or is it PTR? It's beta, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think so. And Gizmo, I believe that you saw some of this, and maybe you could fill us in. Was there anything super interesting over there that we didn't know before, or anything like that?
So most of these, unless you played a lot of Necromancer in D2, a lot of it's not necessarily going to mean anything to a lot of people. I didn't play a lot of Necromancer in D2, but they kind of just went along the lines of why they made the decisions they did and how they built his kit and what kind of the direction they were going. So the main points here that he's going to be more physical based instead of spell.
Right.
And they had kind of tampered with poisons and cold, which is still in there. You can go those builds, but they wanted to separate it a lot from the Witch Doctor.
Right.
And that running up.
And that was supposed to be like a secondary thing anyway. So So cold and poison, that's like the secondary stuff. It's mostly physical though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
But they're going to have 4 sets that release out for the dungeons that are going to release as soon as the Necromancer releases. They were talking about the pennant banners, pet wings that you will get along with the Necromancer pack. From kind of reading in the comments and stuff, some people seemed to be upset because of some of the decisions they made as far as uptime of some abilities and ways to increase the uptime. they went away from it. They didn't like the micromanagey part of it. They just wanted it to be fun to play. So I don't know. I'm still super excited for the Necromancer to get in there. As I said, Diablo is probably one of my top 3 franchises of all time. I think it's just a timeless game. And I look forward to whenever it launches, being able to take it on the ladder and kind of see where you can push. Which will also be interesting because they specifically said they did not design this with 2, 3s, and 4s in mind. So we'll see if it kind of comes out broken in those circumstances, if that'll really help groups push the group ladders. But
sure. Well, I'm kind of looking forward to seeing what it does and how it performs. So, should be good.
And most importantly, Necromancers have white hair, and it's explained by lore. In case you were wondering, but they're going to release other media
by
to
Josh Allen.
It's
Described by Josh Allen. That is what is. No, they only have white hair.
Yeah, there's a reason.
There's a
and
reason.
They'll release some stuff.
All right. Well, that's good to know, because I was a little bit afraid about that.
Yeah, it's like why do I have white hair? I just don't get it. It's weird.
Right.
It's weird.
Let's talk a little bit about StarCraft.
I can dig that.
So, Tattva, there was a guy, and he was buying some stuff on eBay or something, buying some StarCraft stuff on eBay, like a lot of stuff. He was just like, yeah, I'm all about StarCraft. And he got something, and he was like, oh my word. What was it? I want you to explain it if you can.
It's just pretty funny. Like, the best part about the story that I love is the picture of the disc that he happened to come across. Because if you're at least whatever, probably at least Giz's age. He's just a baby, but he probably saw those old school, everyone bought, had that stack of CDs that were like that gold top color and stuff. And you'd have your marker and write on them and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was basically just one of those. And he found it, Blizzard Entertainment logo stamped on it, and it just said StarCraft Gold Master source code.
Yep.
He just happened to cross the source code of the game, and he was kind of worried about it because that's kind of a big deal, and he maybe could get in trouble for it, and he didn't know what to do.
And Blizz had lost the source code. They had to actually rebuild everything because they lost the stupid source code. So this guy stumbled across the CD of the source code of StarCraft, and he was at a crossroads because he didn't know what to do about it.
Yeah, he was going nuts. He sought legal advice, everything. He didn't know what to do. It was sure. In his words, it was driving him crazy.
Right.
But anyways, he turned it in, and he ended up just returning it to Blizzard, and they're just like, "Oh, sweet, you're an awesome dude. Here's Overwatch, and
here is
$250 in Blizzard store credit.
Here is all the things, because we really want this back." So he's getting a trip to BlizzCon. He has a bunch of loot. He got Overwatch. He basically went and raided all of Blizzard Entertainment and came away with a bunch of stuff. So
yeah. It's all expenses paid trip. They're gonna take him out to dinner. It is crazy. I wonder. My biggest question here, is if they've contacted or tried to reach out to whoever sold this box of StarCraft stuff to see if he even knew he had it. Or if so, how he got it, where he got it, to try and retrace their steps onto the great mystery of the missing source code for StarCraft. And it's pretty incredible that this is a long time ago. Yeah. That this did not get leaked somehow.
Right.
It's insane.
It is. But now Blizzard has it back. Everything's secured. And the guy has a bunch of stuff. So, congratulations, dude, for getting a bunch of stuff from Blizzard. And for that, you will get the big applause. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Hey, doing the right thing actually gets you stuff. Look at that. Nobody's mad.
Blizzard gave him a little push in the right direction to do the right thing, but
sure. Sure. Let's talk a little bit about esports.
Oh, this is my jam.
Yep. So ahead of the Overwatch League, we are seeing some things happen, like teams dropping out and such. Now, Gizmo, might you have some more information for the people out there?
Yeah, so this is the fourth team or organization to drop out of Overwatch, I believe in like the last month.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they are doing it right now is the dry spell that is going on between events and the Overwatch League, because right now there's pretty much not anything going on. And so there's no way for these organizations to promote themselves or anything like that.
Right.
But that's just kind of the tip of the iceberg here. I think it's Complexity, TSM. I don't remember the other two teams.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're gone anyway.
Yeah,
so
they're gone. Well, and most of them said at some point they are definitely interested in coming back into Overwatch.
Sure.
But I think Complexity, right after they left, they actually went and started a Paladins team, which is kind of what was the battle game that came out? So there was Overwatch, Paladins, and then the third one that was supposed to be big and just died. Tattva,
right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I played it. I can't think of its name though.
Oh my gosh.
Paladins just came up today in conversation, and it was like somebody was streaming it, and their description in Twitch was Overwatch with horses. It's Overwatch with horses. So funny. I love it.
It's actually, I wish they'd put, I played some Paladins while I was waiting to get an Overwatch, but that's besides the fact. So a lot of those teams are interested in coming back to the game again.
Oh, Battleborn? Was it Battleborn?
Battleborn, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. That game.
Thank you, Mirror Brood.
Fell off.
Yeah, really did.
But there's some worry from these organizations that it's not necessarily going to be easy to come back. Because for the Overwatch League, these team spots are going from anywhere, I believe they said from like $2 to $5 million to secure a team spot. And then in cities such as LA, like 10 to 15 million.
Wow.
So you have people that are buying these spots are like the owners of the Miami Dolphins, the owner of the New England Patriots.
Sure.
Big names getting in here. So these, esports organizations that have been around, forever because of esports and what's been currently supporting esports don't have that money necessarily to do this. So it kind of brings up the interesting conversation here of what is Overwatch League trying to do? And I don't know what your guys' opinions are as far as this price point locking out current esports organizations. I mean, I think obviously Overwatch League is trying to change the face of esports and get it to become more of a household thing with these city teams and, the combines and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think to get to the mainstream media, obviously having names, connected to the Patriots and other sports, professional sports organizations will help with that. But at the same time, it kind of seems like a raw deal for these organizations that have been supporting not only Blizzard esports, but esports as a whole for a long time.
It's tough. I mean, they really want to start something new. And because what they have right now it's good. It's what they have right now is okay. But I mean, they want to do something legit. And if you really want to do something legit, unfortunately, you have to step up all sides of that, right? So having it be these big price points and stuff, it makes sense. I mean, for the longevity of the esport, I think that's probably the right way to do it. But I mean, it does kind of blow for those organizations that have been supporting it all along and won't be a part of that, unfortunately.
I mean, they're they're rewriting the system. Like they're completely changing it. Like everything up until this point, like the reason esports is the way it is, it's the slow grind, the slow build over time. Like it's just become more and more popular. Teams have established themselves, and it's just been this huge long grind. I mean, we're at a point now where esports is gigantic.
Yep.
Like League, Dota,
it's
all the Blizzard stuff, Overwatch, even.
It's bigger.
HOTS,
it's bigger than
all of it.
It's bigger than TV sports. I mean, like
people are people are tuning in. They're watching them, but even that being said, with the amount of people that are watching them, it's still considered basically an underground thing. Like there's a sizable portion of the population that just has no idea it even exists.
Right. Yeah.
All of us nerds are blown away by it and think it's awesome, and there's millions and millions and millions of us, and so it's fine. But like just to take what esports is right now, and maybe they made the decision because of the effort it takes to build up HOTS. It's just been a slow grind. It's hard. It's hard to work in. It's hard for teams to get recognizable. It's hard for players to get recognizable and make an impact. And then so they're just flipping the script and starting from the top and pushing it back down, like, because they know the demand is there.
Yeah.
And other people can see it too. And so these huge investors can come in, build these teams, and it can become a bigger thing that's more in your face and just start.
Yep.
It doesn't, like, it sucks for the organizations, but the players that make up these organizations are going to be absorbed. Like, they're the top players in Overwatch. They're the top players, and so, of course, these New England Patriot team, whatever, this guy, they're going to be seeking out all this talent. But,
Tom Brady's playing Overwatch now?
What?
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, I mean, it's...
he doesn't stay on the
Deflategate all
payload.
over
It's
again.
nuts.
We're gonna have to
stay on the payload.
We're gonna have to check the pressure on Junkrat's tire.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's true. It's a flat. It's running a little crooked.
That's
Something's going on.
That's right.
But I mean, like, that's the big thing, though, is those players will find homes. And I think part of it, though, is the Overwatch League, they have contracts with these teams. They're being paid to play for them. And so the money has to be there. And then on top of that, the players are going to be tradable, all that stuff. Like, it's a normal sports organization where there's going to be the owners of the team. They make these decisions. I know people move between different teams now in esports, but it's not that common for someone to yank someone from somewhere or be like, hey, our support game's a little weak. We're going to trade this guy to get this awesome support to this team. And it's going to be crazy when that happens, and people are going to have to be moving around, all that kind of stuff. And so it's just, they've created a system that's completely different and cannot be sustained by the current state of esports. And so it has to be this top-down approach. Otherwise it would crumble.
And I've been super supportive of going this route, only because one of the biggest problems that I find with esports is that it moves really fast. Like, esports moves really fast and usually takes up an entire weekend. Like, you'll have a tournament and it'll be 2 days and it'll be 48 hours just jam-packed with games. And if you don't have 2 days to watch all these games, you miss out, right? And so I think one of the things with this big money piling in is you'll see probably a little bit better pacing as well, which means that the fans win too.
Yeah.
Because then that way you don't have to miss out on your favorite games or your favorite matchups or whatever. You can actually go directly to a day and time and say, this is when this game is happening and I want to watch it. And so I hope that the rest of esports kind of follows suit with it. I know that it's going to be tough to make that switch, but I think that that's where it needs to go in order to be better for the longevity of all of the different esports. Actually have seasons and tournaments and things along that route, instead of just tournament after tournament after tournament, where you're just you feel like you're behind all the time. Or at least that's how I feel when I think about esports. I always feel like I'm behind. I feel like I don't know anything because I have a wife and a life and now 2 dogs, and it's like I gotta take care of all that stuff, and so I just always feel like I'm catching up on that stuff.
And Heroes has made a kind of a step towards that, to where now it's, you can see the schedule and the teams and what's going to play, and it's not tournaments every weekend. It's just a matchup for statistics, the record.
Sure.
But you still run into, when there is tournaments, each match is between 10 and 25 minutes, to whereas Overwatch is going to be like 5 to 10 minutes.
Right.
So they'll be much better paced. And I also think here that there may potentially, on this first year, the risk reward for these smaller organizations. I don't know what esports organizations are worth, so I can't really say what the risk is for them. But for them to get in and pay anywhere between $2 million and $15 million for a team spot, versus these owners who have sports teams that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars. $15 million for them isn't nearly as big of a worry. So after this first year and stuff, and see how the first season goes, we may potentially see more of these teams either come back, if they don't come back at the beginning of the Overwatch League. So it's very interesting and very exciting.
I bet in that same thought, though, isn't there some of these big money guys? Didn't someone buy Fnatic recently? Like, a lot of these guys are buying franchises as well that already exist, right?
There's a retired basketball player, Rick something, owns
wasn't it
Fox.
Didn't Shaq buy something?
The Pistons or something like that bought something, and I mean, it was like
the
a
76ers.
Yeah, the 76ers, that's what it was.
Like, was it Team Liquid?
Might have been
Liquid.
I just remember that was months ago that we talked about that.
So that's true as well.
Yeah.
So there's probably going to be a lot of partnerships, because I mean, these guys, they see the potential, but they know nothing probably about how to handle the organization and all that kind of stuff. And so they're probably going to turn to these existing organizations and absorb them, and just back Team Liquid or back TSM or whoever.
They know the organization side of things. They don't necessarily know the players, and so that's going to be kind of the interesting part. So, and how they train and all that kind of stuff, I'm sure it's totally different. So,
it's Rick Fox owns Echo Fox. But another interesting thing as far as marketing comes in, these teams that are NFL owners and stuff, when they buy a team, they'll be they can be the LA and name it whatever they want. To whereas when Complexity comes in and they do this, like, I don't know, the Kansas City Complexity doesn't have the ring as, the LA, I don't know, Dynamite or whatever would to catch on, or the, I don't know, St. Louis Tempo Storm.
The Gizmos.
Gizmos. There you go. So that may also be kind of something that they're trying to figure out how to balance.
Right.
Because obviously they are known as Complexity in esports, to where that doesn't really necessarily fit what's going to be in the Overwatch League.
Yeah.
Right.
But the other thing too, when you guys were talking about pacing, is the content that's created because of that. Like, it's going to be interesting to see, because they're making it a more professional thing. And so you're going to have your ESPN recaps and all that kind of stuff, whatever channel it ends up on. But, not so many games in such a short space, where like we get a tournament and it's just kind of like they run through all these highlights really fast. This game was awesome. This game, and they just glaze over everything. Whereas you're going to have Monday Night Overwatch and maybe a couple games or whatever between a few different teams, and then that will be dissected to death. And so, which is good for the community, because you get in and see, why these teams are choosing the comps they are, why certain calls are being made at certain times, because they have time to delve into like specific games and specific moments and like top 10 plays of the week and all that kind of stuff. Like, we're going to get a lot of that. Like,
it's going to look a lot more like news. It's going to look a lot more like football or basketball or something along those lines, and that's always great.
And then that leads into more people enjoying it because they know what's going on. It's funner to watch when you know what can happen or what's about to happen. Or potentially could happen.
Sure.
Anyways.
By the way, Daisy, my little puppy, She is much more of an Overwatch player than a HOTS player. Just letting you know.
Okay.
Gizmo,
Ooh.
let's talk.
Shots fired.
Let's talk. Well, I mean, she's young, right? She likes the fast action of Overwatch. So let's talk HGC for a little bit here, Giz, and before we get out of here, what's going on with HGC right now?
Yeah, so the HGC is entering its last week of regular play before the playoffs start for the mid-season brawl and the Crucible, of course. Well, for HGC North America and Europe, the spots are pretty much locked at this point. So we do have the bottom 2 teams from each going to the Crucible, which from NA will be No Tomorrow and Naventic, and then from EU, Synergy and Beat Genius. And the Crucible, of course, is those 2 teams are going to be facing the top 2 teams from the open division for each league, with their spot in the HGC on the line. So It's going to be real nerve-wracking for them. We may potentially see a couple new teams in here for the second half of HGC. And then the other 6 teams, the first place teams, which is Fnatic and Tempo Storm, I believe they are locked in. So after this last week, it's not going to matter what happens. They automatically qualify for the mid-season brawl. And then the remaining 5 teams are going to play in a very interesting, it's like a step ladder style playoff tournament.
Okay.
To where 5 and 6 are going to face each other. The winner will play 4. The winner of that match will play 3. Winner of that match will play 2. And that gets the top 2 teams from each region. And we had already had the clash a few months ago, which was NA versus EU and then Korea versus China. This is going to be the top 2 teams from all regions coming together and playing. So kind of like a little mini BlizzCon.
Awesome.
Which is going to be real exciting. It's always good to see how, the Eastern side here is going to do against the Western.
Yep.
Probably not very well, but you know what? We can hope.
Sure. So. Sure. Why not? Anything other than that in esports? I know that we're running long tonight, so we should probably get going. But if there's anything quick, we can probably throw it in there.
Very quick.
Yeah.
Because this is
quick.
Big news.
Very quick.
If you guys follow the HGC, Mike Udall and Crowan, like the 2 guys that are known for their hair, had a bet with Tempo Storm that if they lost, they were going to shave their heads. They lost, and they are shaving their heads tomorrow. Like Crowan has like a 1.5 foot fro.
Nice.
And Udall just has some beautiful hair. And tomorrow, they're going to stream it. So
wow. So be looking for that. Actually, if you're listening to the audio version of this, be looking for the VOD of that. The VOD. Always be doing that. All right. That is going to do it for esports, and that means that is also going to do it for the show, so I'll play this music. And, fellas, are you guys doing anything big this week, and how can people reach out to you and get a hold of you and stuff like that? Tattva, anything planned for this week?
Just the usual things. CTM's recruiting. If you want a 2-night-a-week Mythic team and think you can keep up, you can go ahead and apply at converttomythic.com. Again, for all you CTR folks, I generally announce it there. The weekend stuff is still going on. It will be a surprise about when it is. Friday or Saturday sometime. We'll be crushing normal. So, and all are welcome to that. But other than that, yeah, you can find me in game or on Twitter at LOS_gaming.
Right.
And then YouTube's is just the normal LOS gaming show. We haven't done too much lately. And I mean, Tomb's out there. There's a lot on the horizon.
So much.
Some changes, maybe. We'll see.
It's all we're getting ready for the new raid, so
everything's in flux.
That's right. Gizmo, how about you, man?
You can find me on all the social medias and Twitch at Gizmozord, and as well as my Heroes of the Storm podcast, Lords of the Storm, which is live Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm. I definitely suggest checking out last week's episode where we had Trixler on.
Oh, cool.
Who is a caster for the European HGC and was also previously community manager for Heroes.
Right.
I got some really good insights from him and discussed some Genji and what to expect from the HGC coming up here. So check it out.
Oh, Genji.
I need healing.
Doesn't he say you need healing? You need healing? I don't know what it is. Anyway, I thought there was a trick on that in Heroes. Anyway, and for me, let's see. Okay, if you guys are podcasters or you are thinking about being a podcaster and want to know more, head over to podcastlaunchpad.com. That's where I have a free ebook for all of you guys. Just go over there and get it, and it will make the tech side of podcasting so much easier for you guys. And you can always find me on Twitter at Pat Crane with a K. Okay, that's it for that. And then I'm going to play this one. There we go. Now, you can always get a hold of us and be a part of our conversations anytime. You can email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can join the Bazubagwaba Nation by heading over to convertraid.com. This is where we've got all the things about the show ever. We've got downloads, we've got Discord info, we've got videos, we've got audios, we've got guild stuffs, we've got, I don't even know. We've got all the things are over there. And if you really don't want to go there, then go to iTunes or YouTube or iHeartRadio or the internet and look up something and you'll find us, I'm sure. Convert to Raid is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends over at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. Fellas, thank you. Chat room, thank you guys. And thank you, wherever you are, for joining us. That's going to be it for the show. And for all the guys on Convert to Raid, we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye.